First, Colombia, Panama in Glendale, Arizona, a 5-0 demolition for Colombia. It was Cordoba, James Rodriguez, Luis Diaz, Richard Rios, and Miguel Borja with the goals. James put on another show, a goal, 2 assists. He's up to 5 assists in this tournament, by far the most of any player, and also leads the tournament in chances created. What a tournament for him.
Listen, we're going to get to the Uruguay situation here in a second, Carly, but a lot of us have been talking about Uruguay. Have we been downplaying and not giving enough respect to what Colombia is? And I know it's against Panama, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. But are they better than we are giving them credit for in the pecking order when it comes to this tournament?
I think they've been flying under the radar a bit, but they're unbeaten in how many now? Is it
27.
27. Yeah, I mean, I like this squad. I think that they're exciting. James, incredible. I mean, he's having probably the best tournament out of everybody.
Yeah, he's money, huh? Scoring.
But yeah,
assisting.
I think that's probably how they want to kind of just fly under the radar a little bit.
Talk about Uruguay, talk about all the others.
But I think that they've been more dominant as far as their play than Argentina and Uruguay as well.
So they're unbeaten in 27, which equals their all-time record they set in the early 90s, that great team with Valderrama, Rincon, Asprilla. And today in the Avocado Room, I had a good conversation with Juan Pablo Angel about who is the greatest Colombian player of all time. Does James have a good claim to that? Or would you put one of those early 90s players? And Juan Pablo said he would definitely put James above Valderrama.
Wow.
The one guy from that era.
Damn, really?
The one guy from that era that he would maybe put above James is Asprilla, who I'm sure you played against and had to defend. Did you think he was as great? I mean,
well, I would only say they're very different types of players, obviously, and I would. A comp is much. Valderrama, obviously, he looks different and he has a different type of stature on the field, but they both kind of influence the game in the same way, or try to influence the game in the same way. So I don't know. I'd still.
Although he made a pretty good case for James. The guy was a top scorer in the World Cup, played for clubs like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. He probably is the most accomplished Colombian player of all time. But Asprilla was an absolute nut, by the way. Warren Barton played with him at Newcastle, and he's got some incredible stories.
Yeah, I went out with Asprilla one night in where was we? Milan. I think I have pictures of it.
Where did you end up? Where did you finish the night?
I remember the beginning of the night. But I do have one picture I didn't remember until I saw the pictures after. There's a picture at one point with me, Asprilla, and 2 buddies that had come over just to kind of hang and do ridiculous things, and Fabio Capello in some nightclub somewhere. It was insane. All right. So we are all buying Colombia as certainly a potential when it comes to winning this tournament. All right, and we're giving them much more credit, and they are kind of flying under the radar, as Carly said. All right, should we get to it?
Yeah, the other Copa quarterfinal tonight, Uruguay, Brazil in Las Vegas. It finished 0-0, an absolute foul fest, 41 fouls. Red card, Nandes got sent off for Uruguay in the second half. Finished 0-0. We go to penalties. Eder Militão saved by Rochette, and then Douglas Luiz hits the post. Ugarte scores a winner. Uruguay go on. Brazil are out.
All right, take your heart away from this for a second. Just purely as a game that you watched, all right? Was there any redeeming value in this soccer game?
Yeah, there was some, Lex. I'm sorry, that's from Mosse? I apologize.
No, I thought it was one of the worst soccer matches I've ever seen in my life. One of the worst 2 hours of my life.
Just because of the fouls?
Yes.
The lack of passes being strung together?
Correct.
Yes. The bodies hit the floor?
Yes.
We have the stat on how many the most amount of passes that were made without a foul.
It was insane. It was every 20 seconds.
Now let's set it up like this. Brazil's mediocrity, I think I've made my thoughts clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the disappointing team tonight, if we're being honest, was Uruguay, because we thought they were capable of something better. And this comes on the heels of Marcelo Bielsa making all sorts of comments the last couple of days about the state of football. And again, talking as if he's coming at it from this place as if he's the ultimate romantic and he gets to criticize everybody else for the way they play.
Thank you.
And I know that rubbed you the wrong way.
Thank you, Mosse. I appreciate you pointing that out, okay? Because Bielsa has positioned himself, and fairly so at different times, as this Yoda-esque figure, transcendent, thinking about the game on a completely different plane, romantic. And you have talked about your love for Bielsa, okay? But this is a reflection of him, because this was a disgrace to the game. And I like a street fight. I like a bar fight, and we talk about that all the time. I like it when they muck it up. Sometimes it can be interesting. The Venezuela-Canada game, for example, that was not what this was. This was not a soccer game. And there's plenty of talent on the field. I know it's not your favorite Brazil team, but there was plenty of talent on the field. And so for Bielsa to come out in this moment and talk about the business of the game and it's heading in the wrong direction and we're not going to be able to celebrate romantic, beautiful players or the game the way that it's supposed to be, and then put out this crap? Come on, give me a break. But they go through. They found a way to go through. This Brazil team, to your point, was doing the most un-Brazilian types of things that we have seen, long balls out of the back, and they mucked it up too. It has to be said in the way that they played. But ultimately, I think that this proves your point that this is not a Brazilian team by any stretch of the imagination in the way that they play. So you feel a little vindicated in that they were bad too, right? But it takes two to tango.
You know who was not impressed with Brazil tonight?
Who's that?
Stu Holden. If I read you some of the texts he sent me as he was calling the match.
Really?
Yes.
He was able to do that.
But a couple of thoughts and then we'll move on. Can a Brazilian player just step up and take a penalty without a goofy run-up? Every single Brazilian...
it's everybody's doing this, right? The stutter step seems to be the thing this summer. I know Rob still. Rob, go, Rob.
Don't get me going.
Give it to me.
Going.
Are you grumpy old man in this thing or what? What's the problem with the stutter step?
It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Just step up and smash it. Right? All these little these like high knees. Everybody's doing like high knees, like if they're like at some tech workout, like Orange Theory. We got to get high knees to get our heart rate going right now. And then the pause and the body going. And I give them credit because I'm always amazed that they have enough energy and forward momentum to actually strike the ball when they literally approach it
and stop
like 6 inches before you're coming to it. So I have no time for it. And then who was taking the first? I know you know this. Who took the first Brazil penalty kick?
Eder Militão.
Flinging it around.
By the way, an interesting choice. A center back
right?
who I don't think has ever taken a penalty in a game in his life. That's your first guy.
It took him about 20 minutes to get to the actual ball too.
He's put on a show, and I think Uruguay. When they went down to man, they're like, let's get to penalties because we're going to win it because they're a mature, experienced team, and we've been talking about this youthful squad that is still kind of coming together for Brazil. I just don't think mentally they had it in them to fight through penalty kicks at that point. And they're trying to strut around and be all this and be all that and high step here and high step there. Just step up and strike the damn ball.
It's a bit of fake confidence going on in that
Yeah,
spot.
they're forcing it. They're trying to be Brazil and they're not Brazil.
So second point on Brazil, the way this tournament played out ends any notion of moving on from Neymar. The second he's fit again, he's coming right back into the team.
Did you want to move on from Neymar?
There was some thought, because he
want
had
to move on from Neymar?
Well, I needed to see how the team would look without him.
Yeah.
There was some thought that if they played well, Neymar's getting up there in age. He's had a lot of injuries. He's coming off an ACL. And then, maybe it wouldn't be such a given that he would come right back in. But I think now it is. But still, that sort of misses the point. Brazil is in this place where it's become too much about a star just leading you to glory, whether it's going to be Neymar or Vinicius, or we even tried to turn Endrick into that. And there's nothing solid being built there. There's not a strong enough collective. You need to build a foundation to give those stars a chance to shine. And right now that team the midfield play is just horrid. And I mean, I unless that gets straightened out, no star that you put on that team is ever going to be able to play at his best in as part of that larger context.
But to your point, though, if this is, as Rob was saying, a work in progress, can Brazil be a work in progress? I mean, Carli, you played for years with the U.S. women's national team. We don't buy them being
Not
a work
allowed.
in progress. Hey, even this summer, where it is a massive changing of the guard with the Olympics and then obviously on to the next World Cup, we're not going to kind of sit around and say, oh, it's a work in progress, everything is fine. This is still a team like Brazil where we expect the best on each and every time. So do the Brazilian fans, are they going to be patient?
It's tough. I mean, you can rebuild a little bit, but there's still a base standard that you have to maintain even as you're rebuilding, and Brazil isn't doing that right now. I mean, this is 3 wins in the last 12 games. It's mind-boggling.
They sit in sixth place. And the top 6 automatically qualify, right?
Yes.
For
I
World
mean,
Cup qualifying.
in all, I'm not even joking
Oh,
right
here
now.
it comes. Here it comes.
Brazil,
Flip this off. Here it comes.
No, Brazil is one of the great beneficiaries of the tournament being expanded to 48. If it was just 4 automatic, I would not feel good right now about Brazil's chances of qualifying.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Wow, how the mighty have
Venezuela. You
fallen.
feel better about Venezuela getting to the World Cup than Brazil. What world are we living in?
Yeah.
Carly, do you feel good about Brazil?
No, not at all. I haven't for a while. But
Yeah.
it's sort of the same thing on the men and women's side. Like, it's always been that. There's just an abundance of talent, a lot of stars that supposedly roll through. But I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what it is. But, yeah, unimpressed.
And Endrick, it's not happening yet.
Gave him the full 90 today.
Yeah, which I didn't agree with. I thought he was in over his head and probably should have come out.
Oh, my
He was a marked man, too, early on. They were coming for him.
Well, that's a little bit of a Real Madrid-Barcelona.
Yeah,
They're already sending him a
exactly.
message. Hey, kid, this is what you can expect in Spain whenever we play you. So,
Oh, my goodness.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.